But we actually have a campaign, and it's got photographs of wonderfully vital, older adults rock climbing and being glamorous, and the tagline is "Boomer, okay, ha," because our bodies are changing. We may have to adapt to that a bit, but we can still lead incredibly vital, full lives.
Welcome to Zestful Aging, where I speak with fascinating people from all over the world, from every walk of life, who will inspire you to live with zest. I'm your host, Nicole Christina, and my mission is to bring you optimism about aging and help you make full use of the new opportunities that only come at this stage of life. To find out more about the podcast, hop on over to zestfulaging.com. And while you're there, sign up for my weekly email newsletter, The Insider, where you will get fun and quirky tidbits about the show and my exploits, including when I went python hunting in Florida and my participation in the National Senior Games. And if you love the podcast, I'd be grateful if you shared it with your friends. Our music is courtesy of Judy Banker, who was a previous guest on the show. Find out more at judybanker.com. And our technical director is Stephen Litweiler. Hey, Zesties. Hey, check out my brand new YouTube channel. I'm sharing Zestful Aging longevity tips, usually while hiking with my dogs, but I'm also sharing about the upcoming guest, the one that's coming up the Saturday following, and I get to tell you some inside stuff about them and what you're going to enjoy about their interview. So come on over, check it out. It's under Zestful Aging on YouTube, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Well, have you ever noticed that the home medical equipment industry is outdated, ugly, and more than a little depressing? Well, today we're going to speak with two women who are on a mission to change that. Their company, Boom Home Medical, helps people care for themselves with dignity by radically reinventing this industry with beautifully designed products that fit perfectly into your life and home. Welcome to the show, Dr. Valerie Ulene and Byrdie Lifson Pompan.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you
Did
for
I
having
get all
us.
the pronunciations right?
You did great.
Oh, good. It's a little, it can be a little nerve-wracking, but I'm glad I got close. Well, I'm really happy to have you both on because this is, when we think about these kinds of tools, I just think of like beige, steel, and really unattractive and just a big downer. I mean, is that what you've been noticing and trying to change here? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, that's absolutely what we took notice of and want to change. What we're trying to do is really reimagine this entire
Like industry, right?
consumer category. So when we first started, we had this idea, oddly enough, around one particular product. That was a bedside urinal. And that kind of stems from a very personal story that I'm happy to get into if you'd like. But what we quickly realized as we started to create and design our own bedside urinal is that all of the goods in this category have not been rethought in decades, if ever.
That's my sense. It's like going into a home that hasn't had any renovations for like 40 years and everything's dated.
Right. Everything, I mean, the vast majority of products are made of plastic, thin, cheap plastic at that. And like you said, they come in beige or white, and they look terrible. Many of them aren't really that functional. And when people are aging and need these products, or when people need these products after surgery or because they're recovering from an illness, I mean, they're at a low point in their life,
Oh, yes.
to begin with, and to add the indignity of all this ugly stuff to that just certainly doesn't help the recovery process.
That's a really interesting point. As a psychotherapist, I can imagine like you're already vulnerable and maybe a little down because you're limited, after surgery or, an illness, whatever. And now you have to pull out this yucky looking thing. I mean, I can totally see how that would add to the problem.
It's been really eye-opening to see. So we launched our first product in January, and our first product is a portable bedside urinal designed specifically for women. We say bedside, but it's been eye-opening because people are buying it to use when they're camping or at festivals, or they keep it in their car for their young kids or grandchildren. Portable being the operative word. But it's so beautiful that if you were to walk into a room and see it on a nightstand, it looks like a vase for
I was going to
flowers.
say, can you put flowers in it?
Yeah, well, one of our we have a lot of creative campaigns going, and one of them actually has flowers in it, and it says it's for pee, not flowers.
I love that. That's brilliant. Now, you two have very different backgrounds. I know, Val, you're a physician, and Byrdie, you have you're professional in the literary domain. Am I understanding that right?
Yes, I represented screenwriters and directors for 25 years at Creative Artists Agency. So I argue that I have been an advocate of sorts my entire career. I'm just now in an entirely different genre.
And do either of you have design background? I mean, how does the aesthetic piece come in? Because I can imagine the practical piece coming in with Val's medical background and Byrdie, you saying something's got to change. But how did we get to these beautiful designs?
So we have been really fortunate. We partnered with a phenomenal industrial design company, Herbst Product. They have won something called the Edison Award, which is, like Byrdie likes to say, the Academy Award of Industrial Design, over a dozen times.
Oh my gosh.
And they are our collaborators and partners on all of our products to date.
In fact, I'm butting in.
Go ahead.
Val and I are proud to announce that the Luna, which is our product, won the Edison Award, the 2023 Edison Award in the MedTech category, because truly creating beautiful products, everyone that's innovating in this space is MedTech or FemTech or, wheelchairs that have AI capabilities.
Oh, wow.
But no one is innovating in the product category. And it's a $60 billion category. Billion with a B.
What's your thought? Yeah, Byrdie, what's your thought about why people have not been in that space?
Val and I talk about this all the time. I mean, no one reinvented the thermostat for hundreds of years until Nest came along. And then everyone said, oh, that makes sense. Why didn't anyone ever innovate the thermostat? Or why didn't anybody ever put a camera on a doorbell? I think Val and I quote each other all the time, but Val always says, this is the people who have used these products historically were the silent generation. and they got what they got and they didn't get upset. But now we have 75 million people, the baby boomers, aging into this category. And they drive electric cars and have Peloton bikes and iPhones. And they're not going to be okay with the same equipment grandma had. So
there's some expression, I'm sure you'll know it, but the idea of like, there's a lot of money in the boomer, what do you want to call it, sector. There's a shortcut name for that. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely. It's actually fascinating. The vast majority of wealth is concentrated among older adults, and many of those people are boomers. But yet so much of the effort in advertising and design is geared towards much younger people.
Are you finding that is there a bit of a wall here? Because I've read many articles, as I'm sure you have, like, why aren't advertisers tapping in? And when they're saying aging, this product's for aging, they're showing like a 35-year-old woman. And it's like, there's a disconnect here. Are you finding that you're able to kind of penetrate that resistance, or are you still kind of hitting your head on this wall?
We're still, like Byrdie said, we launched a little over a month ago. So we're still learning, but I think things are changing gradually. I do agree that, older adults are really underrepresented in most marketing and advertising campaigns. And it which is fascinating to me because there's so much diversity in general now in advertising, but older adults seem to be excluded from that. But I think that's going to change for the first time. I mean, the age demographics of this country are changing so dramatically. It used to be a pyramid, and the young people were at the base, and the pyramid is turning upside down. And so I think with time, we're going to see beautiful older faces on billboards and in advertising and online. That's our hope.
Beautiful. So you're doing this really interesting thing, which, I mean, the aesthetic part really, I just love that. And then you're really providing people with something that's helpful. And it sounds like you're also tapping into potentially very lucrative market here.
It is definitely a lucrative market in that, as I said, home medical equipment is a $60 billion category. $30 billion of that is spent out of pocket because Medicare will cover the very sort of bottom of the barrel products that are deemed necessary, and they must be deemed necessary in order to get coverage. And in years past, probably when there were far fewer people needing these products, Medicare would give you an allowance. If you didn't want the base model and you wanted an upgrade, they'd give you an allowance for the base model and you paid the difference. Now, Medicare is saying, you want the base model? You don't want the base model? You're entirely on your own.
Wow.
And so literally over half the spending in the category is out of pocket. So, as you alluded to earlier, this demographic does have money and they're willing to spend it on themselves and their needs and making their lives, making the aesthetics in their lives beautiful is important to them.
It's this, I have this idea of like, getting some old crappy bedpan. Oh, no pun intended, a bedpan, and then be like kind of giving up, like this idea, like, well, this is my life now. I'm on this depressing decline, and sure, I'll take your ugly bedpan. But what I hear from this is sort of this resistance to the idea that aging is all about decrepitude. And it's like, hey, of course you're going to want something beautiful because I'm still very much alive. Thank you very much.
Right. Well, and my kids, I have 3 kids in their 20s, and occasionally I'll hear from them, okay, boomer. It's sort of this like dismissive comment that they throw off. But we actually have a campaign, and it's got photographs of wonderfully vital, older adults rock climbing and being glamorous, and the tagline is "Boomer, okay, ha," because
Oh,
because our bodies are changing. We may have to adapt to that a bit, but we can still lead incredibly vital, full lives. We
that's
believe
it,
that.
right? It's that
Mhm.
tightrope of acknowledging the losses and really um, bringing in and focusing on the joys.
Right.
Mm.
Hi, everyone. You may have noticed that Zestful Aging Podcast does not run a lot of ads. That's because I'm just not willing to endorse products that I don't have total confidence in and that I don't use myself. So it really means something when I tell you that after I interviewed Dr. Bill Rawls on cellular health, read his books, and learned about his high standards for quality control, I was sold. I placed an order for Vital Plant supplements immediately. I encourage you to check out both of my interviews with Dr. Bill Rawls and hop on over to vitalplan.com. If you enter Zestful15, they will give you a 15% off of your first order. I'm really excited for you to try these products. I think you'll be very impressed. Now, back to the show.
So what's a day like for the two of you in Boom Home? What are you doing? What does it look like, Val and Byrdie, to be in a very different industry than you've come from?
Well, for the last 10 years, Val and I have been partners in a healthcare company, we say it's a navigation company, definitely a service industry, working with individuals and families that have health medical issues. So we're not completely foreign to the space.
Mm-hmm.
We saw firsthand from our clients the products that were available to them. So it's not like I came from representing, film directors jumping into creating medical products.
Okay.
There's been this 10-year transition that we've been business partners.
Mm-hmm.
But and Clear Health Advisors, which is our navigation company, is still up and running, and we have other people working with us focused on that business. But a typical day for us is working with the designers on our new designs. You mentioned bedpans. Wait until you see our beautiful bedpan, which will be out in the next few months. We're rolling out 3 new products in the next few months. We're in the manufacturing stage. So it's working with manufacturing, working with our designers, it's working with marketing, and it's entirely focused on selling what is available now, which is our first product, the Luna. So we sell directly on our website, we sell on Amazon, we are in some, boutique pharmacies. Our goal is to get into many more. I don't like to say mom and pop pharmacies, but more kind of independently owned pharmacies.
Mm-hmm. More conventional, what we think of. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have those in upstate New York. I don't know if you still have those down where you are.
We do. And Val jokes, my dream is to be an entire aisle at Target or Walmart or Walgreens. That is the Boom Home Medical aisle. That that anything on that aisle is the best, most beautiful, coolest, functional version of whatever it is you need, whether it's a bedpan or a cane or a walker or a shower chair. You're going to find the coolest version on that aisle.
This sounds, I can hear the passion in your voice, that like you're really proud of this.
We really are. We we want it to be a successful business from a financial standpoint for sure, but ultimately at the end of the day, we are really mission driven. We feel like there are so many people who are in need of better durable home medical products, and that's what we want to deliver. We think we can, improve the quality of their experiences, their lives, and that's ultimately what drives us. But Byrdie and I are also having a lot of fun. We work incredibly well together, and this is an opportunity that is teaching us so many new things. I think, at a stage of life where at least I'm a little surprised that I'm kind of diving into
that we're working so hard.
That we're working
we should be playing pickleball. Why are we working so hard?
Well, I got a lot of pickleball people, and I interviewed a guy, pickleball for seniors. So you can do both, but I totally get it. This is your encore career.
It really is, yeah. But instead of pickleball, I'm learning what digital paid ads are. I mean, whoever knew there was such a thing.
Oh boy. And just when you learn it, it changes the next day.
Right.
Totally. I keep saying, like, is anyone just placing an ad in the Examiner and maybe a commercial on the radio?
I love that. You just bang your head against the wall. So let me ask you this, you have to forgive me. I am a therapist and I love the emotional piece. As two women with very different backgrounds, how do you work out when maybe Val says, I really, it needs to look like this in terms of anatomy. And Byrdie, you might be saying, yeah, but that shape isn't really as aesthetically pleasing. How do the two of you work out when you don't necessarily agree 100%?
Well, I'd be lying if I said we agree all the time. We're like a marriage.
Yesterday, we agreed on a lot of things. It was a very good day.
I know. I literally looked at her and I'm like, oh my God, I love when we agree. Like, it's so easy.
Sounds like a married couple.
Exactly. Although I don't always agree with my husband and Val with hers either. But we are very different just as people. But we have the same values in that, we love our families. We put our families first, and we care about people. And Val is a physician. She became a doctor because she wanted to help people. Her father is a physician. Her husband is a physician. Her oldest daughter is a physician. In fact, Val's father, I always like to brag. Val's father was the first sort of celebrity doctor on television. He was on the Today Show for 25 years.
Oh my goodness.
Dr. Art Ulene. For all you listeners out there that are over the age of 40, you'll remember him. But we both come from a place of wanting to serve and wanting to do well by people. And so as far as the designs go, our designer is male, and we're like, that's not going to work if you have a vulva. So it's got to be a certain shape. But we so far, like I said, we've got 4 products in the pipeline. We've pretty much agreed on, maybe Val will say, I think it should be a little bigger because she knows more about the exact, how many ounces of urine people express during the night on average. I don't know that. I just know I get up twice. I don't know how much is coming out of me. She knows. So she'll know that it needs to be 30 ounces, so things like that. She definitely brings a different strength to the partnership. and I'll say, but this is a cool color. I see everyone using this color with their iPhone, cover. So we have different skill sets, but I don't know. We've been working together successfully for over a decade, so it just works.
Something's
I
working.
don't want to question it. I don't want.
Okay.
I'm like knocking on wood over here.
Well, it sounds like you also respect each other's what you
very
stable.
right.
Yeah.
Very, very much so. And, I always say we're like yin and yang. And as Byrdie's already said, we very different backgrounds, different experiences, different knowledge bases, but they really complement each other at the end of the day. And I think we are creating better products because of that.
Do you guys go to trade shows?
We are just about to go to our first trade show. We're actually
well, that's not true. I went last year as a voyeur.
I didn't know that existed, a trade show voyeur.
I went to MedTrade, which is the largest home medical equipment trade show.
Okay.
And I tell everyone, if I told you that it was 1962 and, you could walk through the trade show smoking a Benson and Hedges, you would have believed me. Like that's what the show looked like. That's what the products looked like. It was like I went back in time, and that we just knew, like, there is such an opportunity here too.
Were the people also, were they mostly men?
Men.
Old white guys.
Pretty much, yeah.
And how did they receive you? I know you were a voyeur and you weren't set up with with the demos and stuff, but were they welcoming, or did they see you as like an interloper?
I asked a lot of questions, and my bad, you go in and you're either a retailer or you're an exhibitor, right? So, I don't even remember what my badge said, but I asked a lot of questions. But once they quickly realized that I was not making a purchase from them, they were less engaged. And I'm also not that 35-year-old hot woman that you're describing that are in these ads. I'm a 56-year-old Jewish girl from the Valley. So I wasn't, they weren't like lining up to talk to me. But they were, helpful, but it was really depressing. It was really depressing.
This year we plan to go to a series of trade shows for physicians, because what we want to do is educate doctors that there are other options to traditional durable medical products available, or that there will be soon. So we're going to go to a geriatrics meeting, an orthopedics meeting, a podiatry meeting, and obstetrics meeting, because we figure it's a really good way to get the word out to people who need it through their physicians.
I'm thinking about, and maybe this is completely irrelevant, but just my little entrepreneurial brain's working. I mean, people could go ahead and copy this, right? I mean, companies could see this and say, that's beautiful, we're going to make our own. Or is that a concern for you?
Yeah, I think it's a real concern in any consumer product category.
Yeah.
What we're doing everything we can to protect ourselves.
Yes.
We have an intellectual property attorney. Who knew that those people existed? But they are Luna, the first product. Our bedside urinal has several patents, both design and utility patents. So we're trying to protect our ideas wherever we can. But we think our products are great, and people are likely to try and copy our ideas.
I would imagine. I mean, you see some of the Danish designs, and then there's a lot of ripoffs, right?
Right.
And
with these products, though, quality really matters. how they're constructed, the quality of the materials that are used to construct them. So frequently knockoffs just aren't made as well. So what we hope is that people come to recognize that even if there are copycats out there, ours are ultimately better products.
Yes.
So when they see us at Target, when they see that aisle at Target, they come and purchase.
Yeah. That sounds great. So where can people see these beautiful products? Where what's your website? Where can they reach out to you?
Our website is Boom, as in baby boomers, boomhomemedical.com.
Okay.
Is our website, and it tells the story of our brand, even that because we only have the one product out so far, but our brand ethos is represented there in different use cases. And then you can buy us on Amazon.
Aha. And you would search Boom Home Medical. Are you also silly question, are you on social?
Oh yeah, Instagram at Boom Home Medical.
Okay.
We're even on TikTok.
Oh wow. You're more hip than I am. I haven't ventured there. But
it took me a while to download the app. I couldn't get it up, but I got there.
But now you're doing dances and stuff?
Well,
that's right.
What you don't know, because you can't see Val, but Val's a bodybuilder.
Oh, right.
And she looks, well, even if you could see her on this call, she's, tiny and probably wearing a turtleneck. So you would never know what her arms look like. But I always say to her, like when we're going to a meeting, especially with men, I'm like, wear this sleeveless dress.
Oh my gosh, because she has Michelle Obama arms.
Oh my God. Michelle Obama has nothing on Val Ulene.
Oh.
I mean, they are perfect.
Wow.
But the thing I'll add on that front is I started lifting weights at the age of 57, and it was a kind of on a lark that I actually decided to enter a bodybuilding competition. And it was an incredible experience, but it was probably most incredible because I did it when I was 57 instead of when I was 25.
That's the boomer okay, ha.
Right.
That's the boomer okay, ha. We can learn to do new things. We can be as strong as we ever have been in our entire life. We can have fun. We can laugh.
Amen to that.
And we can pee bedside and get a better night's sleep for having
That's
done it.
right. That is right.
What a pleasure it's been to speak with both of you. Continued success. I can't wait to see your products in Target. It sounds like you've got a great thing going and great spirits to go with it. So thank you so much. And we're hop on to boomhomemedical.com and see the most beautiful urinals you're ever going to.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been such a pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on Zestful Aging. If you like the podcast, please share it with some of your friends. If you think decluttering could help you feel better and you could use a little assistance with that, check out the online course I've developed with professional organizer and designer Carrie Luderin. It's called Too Much Stuff. And Too Much Stuff is different from other courses or articles or guidance you may have used up. We give you clear steps to deal with the clutter and the tools to help you face the overwhelming feelings and the emotions that come up when we're going through our clutter. And a lot of those emotions are just feeling anxious or guilty or just basically flooded with a lot of different confusing feelings. The course is really practical. It's realistic. The lessons are short and punchy, and they're really manageable. We're not trying to set you up for some long exploratory, super in-depth, burdensome experience. We want something really helpful for you right now. We all need help with our anxiety. So being surrounded by more calm and less chaos can really help. So now's a good time to clear out the clutter so we can focus on what's really important in our lives. So find out more at zestfulaging.com. You'll see more about this under the web courses tab. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email at zestfulaging@gmail.com. Thanks so much. And stay tuned next week for another interview with a fascinating and inspiring guest.